Just looking through my splits being like, there's so much to do. Oh.
So there, are you back yet?
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We are experiencing some technical issues here. We're going to get these worked out for you in the meantime. Stick around. You will not want to miss this run. While we are waiting for the technical issues to be worked out, I want to tell you about LPAV. Midwest Speed Fest would like to send a special thanks to LPAV for providing PVMs, projectors, and cameras for our marathon since 2017. LPAV has been Minnesota's trusted video and audio vendor since 2003, having worked with companies such as Mountain Dew and Microsoft. You can trust LPAV will do it right the first time. Please support them by checking out their eBay store, which you can find in our Twitch bio, or by typing LPAV in chat. All right, while we are still waiting, I'm going to go ahead and promote another bid war for a run tomorrow. We're going to be having a bid war for the character choice in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You have Knuckles and Sonic. We have $25 for that right now towards Knuckles and no money for Sonic at this moment. So if you really want to see the blue blur go fast over the Punch Man Knuckles himself, get your donations in now. I want to take this time to shout out VGM Con Liftoff. Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2022 is a hybrid marathon with the on-site portion taking place at VGM Con Liftoff in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Every April, VGM Con hosts a celebration of video games and music, including live performances, open jam spaces, panels hosted by industry professionals, open gaming, indie developer showcases, and more. Midwest Speedfest would like to thank VGM Con for their support and generosity in helping us put on our event. To learn more about them, visit vgmcon.org. Once again, everybody, we are currently experiencing some technical issues that we are trying to work out. When those technical issues are worked out, we will be heading back to doing the run of Metroid Dread by Jay Yeen. And once again, you do not want to miss this. Metroid Dread is a wonderful game and a fantastic speedrun. Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2022 is supporting Save the Music. A non-profit charity, Save the Music's mission is to help students, schools, and communities reach their potential through the power of making music. As one of the lead music foundations in the United States, they support their partner communities by donating instruments and musical technology, providing support services for teachers, and advocating for musical education. To learn more, visit savethemusic.org. Save the Music partners with public school districts and communities across the United States that show an immediate need for support and resources to jumpstart or enhance their music education programs. These school districts often serve Title I schools, which have a high percentage of students qualifying for free and reduced lunch, and own limited instrument inventory and materials prior to Save the Music's partnership. Their partner districts are committed to investing and building in-school music education programs for the benefit of student achievement and access to a well-rounded education. Research has consistently demonstrates that the study of music and exposure to music education at a young age has a profound impact on a child's development. In particular, music education improves self-discipline skills, early cognitive development, basic math and reading abilities, self-esteem, SAT scores, ability to work in teams, spatial reasoning skills, and school attendance. I want to go ahead and promote another bid war for a run that'll be done tomorrow. We have Super Monkey Ball Deluxe in SMB2. We have the Monkey Choice. They'll be choosing the monkey used in Glock's Super Monkey Ball Deluxe run. And currently we have $10 on that towards Baby. There are 3 other options currently on there: Mimi, Gong Gong, and Aya. Aya. I think that's Aya. Aya. I'm going to go with Aya. Those donation incentives currently have nothing right now, and Baby is in the lead with that $10. So if you want to see one of those other monkeys, get your donations in now. Or maybe you really, really want to see Baby. Get your donations in for Baby. Give it that lead. Who knows? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're currently trying to work out some technical issues, and hopefully we can get those resolved sooner rather than later and get you to this Metroid Dread run by Jay Yeen. You will not want to miss it, so stick around. In the meantime, we are currently on the online portion of the Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2022 Marathon. Mid-Spring Speed Fling 2022 is in collaboration with VGMcom Liftoff. We are saving money for Save the Music. To donate, go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in chat and follow the link. To learn more about Save the Music, go to savethemusic.org. So while we're waiting, I want to throw out some improv here. Chat, just going to interact with you guys for a little bit. What was your favorite run of the marathon so far? Personally, I had a fun time watching Soaring Sloth's Deltarune one. Big fan of Undertale and Deltarune myself, and seeing somebody blaze through that with such amazing skill was fantastic. Ah, yes, Fuga da Besto. Of course, Fuga Melody of Steel world record achieved earlier today at the marathon. Shout outs to Moonblaze Wolf for that. A wonderful, fantastic run as well. At this time, I want to go ahead and point out some of the runs that will take place after Metroid Dread. We have, after Metroid Dread, immediately following it, we have Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. I'm going to go with Ecclesia there. That'll be run by Brooke. That is Shanoa Any Percent. Following that, we have Osborne running Ape Out Warpless. Going to be a fun one on that. And then WarioWare Get It Together by Fire Splitter. That's also going to be promising to be a good run. That is Any Percent. want to go ahead and give a shout out to our alt language restreams. Mid-Spring Speedplane 2022 rather is being restreamed in Japanese by our friends over at Japanese Restream. You can find the stream there at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. We've worked with them several times now, and we're very grateful for all the work they do to bring marathons like ours to a wider audience. All right, so looks like we are good to go here. It looks like we got the technical issues worked out, so we are going to transfer back on over to Metroid Dread by J.E.
So we're going to try to do low jumps, parkour over things, and keep ourselves basically out of the air as much as possible. This is going to include doing very quick ledge jumps, which will cause Samus to mantle when she's grabbed onto a ledge instead of doing a much slower clamber animation. So Adam is a kind of forced part of the run for at least a little while. We have to have these conversations. Adam has kind of a long lead-up animation as well that we want to avoid. So later on, we're actually going to make Adam stop talking. I'm not going to talk more about that until we actually make Adam stop talking. But one of the first big tricks and the biggest kind of important glitch that we see is this pseudo wave, is the ability to shoot some bullets through walls. The specifics of why this works are a little complicated, but basically when Samus hits the ceiling at a slope or a weird angle in a certain way, basically her gun is just positioned in a way that the shot doesn't hit the boundary of the wall. The second pseudo wave is actually really quite difficult. So that's the early cloak pseudo wave. We're actually going to go fight the first boss, Corpius, who's going to give us Phantom Cloak without doing the a lot of other rigmarole first. Corpius only takes damage in his head. He's a big dog. After he takes enough shots to his head, and he does adjust his head position each time, he will go invisible in his second phase. We're going to shoot a bunch of missiles at him in the second phase until we run out, basically, and then shoot his tail to advance to phase 3. We're going to try to missile him consistently enough in phase 3 to not need to take too many missile refills. He actually gave us a really nice drop there. That was a really good Corpius fight overall.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really nice. So this is going to give us Phantom Cloak, which is going to give us our first Aeon ability. It's basically going to let us become undetectable. The important thing about this for speedruns is that it lets us get through these sensor doors. If you cloak at the same time as you slide, you can also actually use a melee counter for this. You can get a little extra speed going into the sensor. So you're going to see Jay do that slide and cloak through all of those sensor doors. Another quick conversation with Adam, and we're going to actually be on our way to pick up the charge beam. Now, normally we would pick up the charge beam before that first fight, which is actually why Corpius actually is a little bit dicey in this route, because if you run out of missiles, you have no backup for damaging him. That melee on the slope that Jay just did, as I'm sure that you were able to see, really sped up getting down on that slope. So there's a lot of like little movement optimizations in this run that you might not think much of, but are actually really important, add up quite a lot over time. This little hint about hidden items, it's actually technically possible to completely skip this in NMG, but it requires a very dangerous damage boost in Cataris, the second area, and I think it was only discovered like the other day. So we're now doing a trick called Water Ass. Am I allowed to say that on stream? I hope so. It's basically a skip here that lets us...
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. So...
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so if you run out of Aeon energy, then your Phantom Cloak starts eating your actual energy. So if Jay had gotten Water Ass, and it is actually it's a very tight trick, so it's not that weird to not get it, even after a lot of practice. We would skip that whole lower water segment, and also this little water tunnel heading into the Emmy zone over here. The first Emmy is not actually active at this point because we took the early cloak route, and that was a really lovely Watergate skip there. That pillar jump right there is actually quite tight. So we're actually gonna have to do something really interesting in a little bit, because we're gonna have to activate the Emmy. But for now, we're going to grab Charge Beam. That's going to let us open Charge Beam doors. One interesting thing about Charge Beam in this game is that you can do quick charges. If you start charging your Charge Beam and then you either spin jump or you do a turnaround, you will fire a fully charged Charge Beam, even if you haven't gone through the full charge time. So that's actually, we use that in a couple of places to open doors faster when you otherwise wouldn't be able to get a full charge off. We pick up a nice little E-tank there, the first of a few. Did you pick up 3 or 4?
3.
3, okay. You're braver than I am. I'm still on 4 myself. And so we're going to be doing a little bit more of those quick ledge hops, and then here we're actually going to, we're coming back around toward Corpius again. But we are going to basically run back into the Emmy zone. Yeah, so if you miss the cloak on that slide, that's what happens. The gate shuts on you, and you have to wait a little bit. Oh, right, we're not going into the Emmy zone yet. We're going into the hot zone because we have to open the lava door. So this is going to give us a taste of what's in the next area. This whole lava-y thing is a prelude to Cataris, which is where we're going to be going once we're done with Artaria. In this area, we're basically just looking for a thing that Samus can jam her arm into and change lava flow, because that's a thing that you can do when you have a gun for an arm. So what that's going to do is open these metal shutter doors. That there was one in one of the Adam rooms that we were in earlier. So we're going to have another conversation with Adam while we wait for him to let us open that shutter door, as we head back to the Emmy zone, so that we can actually confront the first Emmy. Adam is, of course, annoying. We would like to never speak to him again, but we're not there yet, so we'll keep on moving. So with that shutter door open, we are able to move into the Emmy zone. And so here, we came through the upper door earlier, but we're going to go down through this lower door, and we are going to do what's called Magus Skip. It's another fairly tight pillar jump. So what Jay is doing there is a dash melee counter to get a coyote jump into a very tight wall jump that lets you grab onto the top of that pillar. And then you run out and back in the door to activate the Emmy activation cutscene, and then we're basically able to just run down over here to fight Central Unit, also sometimes called Mini Brains, because these are very obviously homages to Mother Brain. They are, you know, control units that are brains with eyes. Defeating that gives us Omega Energy, which allows us to use the Omega Beam and the Omega Stream, which are required to defeat the Emmy. These doors act as a little reminder tutorial. Sorry, were you about to say something?
No. I just messed up.
Oh, okay. This MU1 kill is very tight. It is possible to get it entirely on that upper ledge, but it's a very clean backup. It would be really easy to just like try to stand your ground and die there, but that was overall a very clean kill. The slower way of doing that is actually going onto the upper platform in the very first room that you come out of and running way the heck to the end and killing the Emmy from there. But killing this white Emmy gives us Spider Magnet, which allows us to stick to any of the glowing blue walls that we've seen so far. Jay, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Good. You're doing great. I just want to...
My brain is like...
Yeah, no,
just
definitely.
Going wild with it.
Now that we've got Spider Magnet, we are actually able to go into Cataris. It's technically possible to get to Cataris without Spider Magnet, but it's not possible to advance without Spider Magnet. So we're going to run our way back to the lava zone. And there, we are going to take the sensor door that we didn't take before. So we're going to drop down here. And run back past the lava switch, through these little critters, past the save room, and then Jay is going to attempt a damage boost here, which is going to skip a much slower moving platform. And first try, very nice. So it is technically possible by using that damage boost to get up here into this elevator without having Spider Magnet at all. And this will take us into Cataris. But once we get into Cataris, you'll see that it wouldn't be possible to advance without Spider Magnet. So we do actually have to kill the first Emmy. Long loading screens in this game, so if we have any donations or anything, now might be a good time to read them.
Well, we do not have any donations at this time. However, I want to just go ahead and plug the event. Mid-Spring Speedfling 2022, in collaboration with BGMCon Liftoff, is raising money for Save the Music. To donate, go to donate.com. Donate.midwestspeedfest.com or type !donate in chat and follow the link.
Awesome. Yes, please do that. Please do the donations. So we're in Cataris now. Cataris is our hot zone. It's our lava place. So there are going to be lots of hot rooms that we are not able to go into right now because we lack the appropriate suit upgrade. You all know it. You all love it. So I'm not going to bother naming it yet. But we do have to talk to Adam. He warns us that it's hot in here. Huh? Yeah, thanks, Adam.
I said
exactly.
thanks, Adam.
And so here we get to spend a bunch more time redirecting lava flow. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of this. There's lots, aside from opening shutter doors, we now also have like shutter walls and ceilings that will open. Running into this next room, there's actually a little elevator skip in this room. And very nice, very well done. So that makes it so that you don't have to wait for the elevator to go all the way to the top, which is really good. This moving platform, unfortunately, you can't skip. So that little like diagonal elevator is required. But so as we kind of continue through here, we are going to make our way up into the second Emmy zone. There is going to be a cutscene that we're basically going to skip immediately that introduces us to the green Emmy, Morph Ball Emmy, and oh gosh, green Emmy is super mean, like that. That was amazing. That was an incredibly clutch dodge there.
That's the first time I've ever gotten that.
That is awesome.
That was an absolute insane reaction. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was... y'all have no idea how tight that was. If you stall at all in the movement in the first room because the Emmy still moves in adjacent rooms, you basically can't. The Emmy comes out the door as you're going in the door. So that was amazing. Another nasty Emmy spawn and another very clutch dodge. Amazing. So those were like two of the worst possible Emmy spawns that we could have gotten for that. And just like absolutely stellar performance there. So we're gonna hit this big green button. There's a couple of ways to do that to make hitting this a little bit faster. It's possible to slide back right after you release the shot, or to do what's called a double turnaround pseudo wave to hit it from the right side of the wall. But neither of those things save an especially large amount of time, so we're not super worried about missing them. Good hitting that charge door with a charge shot on the way up so that we don't have to worry about it later. We can just hit it with a regular shot on the way back. Some of the charge doors actually have a slow opening animation. So we want to make a special note to hit them ahead of time so that they have time to completely open. So coming back through here, Jay's gonna be going for a trick called Atom Save Skip. This is a really tight trick. It requires a frame perfect input on the melee against the wall. But if Jay gets this, nice, so good. Wow, that was what, 3 tries?
4.
4, still really good. So that trick lets us skip navigating all the way around the lower part of Cataris. It also skips an Atom conversation. And an important part about skipping that Atom conversation is that it confuses the game. So for the entire rest of the game, Atom's just not gonna bother talking to us because he didn't get to talk to us now. He's mad at us. Just will like not speak to us unless we like make a specific point of it. So every Atom room that we go into from here on out is just gonna stay dark. It's never gonna light up. It's never gonna lock us in, and we avoid all of the startup animations, all of the Atom conversations, all of the everything that goes with talking to Atom. That was excellent. This saves about 2.5 minutes over the course of the run. So that's just it. Really good skip. Ooh, wow. Jeez, another very tight dodge. That one's pretty
Green
normal.
Emmy is
Nice
bullying me tonight.
Yeah, and you're doing a tremendous job standing up for yourself. There was a nice another little elevator skip on the tower where Atom Save Skip happened. So we are going to be running back up here to lower a platform, and that platform, getting this out of the way, is going to give us access to a second E-Tank, which is going to be 2 of 3 apparently. And it's also going to give us access to Dairon, which is the 3rd area that we see in the game. So we have Artaria, we have Cataris, we have Dairon. We're missing B right now, but we'll get to the B area later. There's a whole alphabet naming scheme with the areas in this game. It's very cute. Good job, Mercury Steam. But the reason that we need to go to Dairon, even though we haven't killed the Green Emmy yet, is because in order to kill the Green Emmy, we need Spazer, which they call Wide Beam. I know they did it in Fusion too, but like Spazer's such a better name.
It's also worth noting that they did Spazer in the previous game Mercury Steam worked on, which is the remake of Metroid 2, which is it's weird. It's weird that they did that.
I mean, I don't think that it was a Mercury Steam decision. Like, I think it was a like Fusion called it Wide Beam, so Dread calls it Wide Beam, but Metroid 2 called it Spazer, so they kind of had to call it Spazer in Samus Returns. Like, anyway, it should be called Spazer. It's Spazer in my mind. So one of the things about Wide Beam Spazer in this game is that there are these incredibly cursed blocks that require you to hit them dead on. There's actually one that we just passed with a charged Spazer shot. And when you do that, they will move a certain amount. But you really have to hit them dead on. And so it's like very easy to like accidentally miss your shot and not get the block to move. And so those blocks are just incredibly cursed. Dairon is your machine factory. There's a whole bunch of like power outages here. very standard factory stuff. I don't know why I keep calling it a machine factory. I've done that a million times now, and it's just very redundant. But so we're going to turn the power on. The reason that we're going to turn the power on is because we want to blow up a missile door. Like, why wouldn't the missile door blow up if the power was off? I don't really get it. I don't know. Somebody like explained that it's like actually the resonant energy of the missile, and it does. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But so now we have wide beam. I'll say it, but I'm not going to be happy about it. With that in tow, we are able to destroy these covers, these special covers, which is what's going to give us access to the central unit room, and also to knock these wide beam blocks back. That was a very good shot. But if the angle had been even just like a little bit off on that, which I don't, a turnaround maybe you can't be off, but it just wouldn't have opened. So we get a brief introduction to Yemi. Sorry, I call them all by like color abbreviations. Yellow Emmy, who is very, very fast and very angry, and very easy to escape in that particular instance. And with that, we are able to shortcut our way using some wide beam blocks back to the tram to Dairon. Nice little break here as we get some more loading screen in. So if you have any plugs or anything.
I think we're clear all the way up to the Morphemi.
All right. On that note, I will go ahead and thank LPAV. Midwest Speedfest would like to send a special thanks to LPAV for providing PVMs, projectors, and cameras for our marathons since 2017. LPAV has been Minnesota's trusted video and audio vendor since 2003, having worked with companies such as Mountain Dew and Microsoft. You can trust LPAV will do it right the first time. Please support them by checking out their eBay store, which you can find in our Twitch bio, or by typing !LPAV in chat.
Very nice. Always love that material support. So we're now coming up on the central unit for Green Emmy. This is very much like the other central unit. There are more guns and more Rinkas. One thing that is just really important to know about this is that your best DPS whenever you're using the beam is mashing. And I didn't talk about it before, but Turbo has actually been allowed by the Metroid Dread community up to 20 hertz on controllers. Okay. So we're going for a very tight green Emmy kill on the right side of the wall here. So this is slightly faster than just standing by the door and firing and killing it on the right side of the wall. And it is slightly slower than a much, much more dangerous technique in which you actually jump down over it onto a lower platform and kill it slightly lower. But the difference there is like a second, and this is way, way safer. So that was a very, very clean kill. So for all of the bullying that Green Emmy gives us in terms of spawn RNG earlier in this segment, it's actually one of the easier Emmy kills overall, even doing the quicker kill that Jay did. But so now we have Morph Ball, and now we can roll. Also Orb. Orb's in the chat. And Morph Ball gives us access to this thing's mouth. We didn't see this earlier because we didn't go the long way around, but we would have if we had gone the long way around. This game has Missile Plus tanks, and so those are worth 10 missiles as opposed to 2 that the littler missile tanks are worth. And then, so we have another kind of transit. So we have trams, elevators, and teleportals. A fun fact about teleportals is that while the text for the trams and the elevators tells you what your destination is going to be, Cataris, Dairon, whatever, the teleportals just say, use the teleportal to travel elsewhere. But elsewhere in this case happens to be back to Artaria. And so we are going to head back here. This room may look familiar to you if you were paying attention to earlier in the run. This is right before we did Water Ass, but instead we're going to go up because now we have Morph. Notice that Jay is jumping up and then morphing into the tunnels rather than clambering up into them. That is significantly faster. It also means that Samus won't auto-unmorph. So there's it is possible to actually shoot a charge shot through that morph tunnel, that last morph tunnel before the lava flow redirect. Very tight shot. Saves a tiny bit of time, but it's also, it looks very cool when you get it. So this little emergency blow up sequence right here is like a little like mini escape. If you hang around for too long, lava will start to run, will start to come up through the floor. It'll turn into a hot room and you'll start to take damage. But once we navigate through here, we are free to pick up Varia's suit. We all love Varia's suit. So Varia's suit and Gravity suit, when you pick them up, they have little cutscenes of you like whooshing into your new suit. And you have to remember to skip those cutscenes, and it's a common thing that newer runners are like, because no other item does that. It's easy to forget to skip those cutscenes. Lots of little fun movement on the way out of the segment. I actually really like this one. As we're just like coming down here and morph falling through there. That was very, very smooth navigation. So there's basically a slide off of the platform into a morph. And that when you fall faster in morph. Jay was far enough left to fall left and then curve back right to land on the teleportal platform very smoothly. It's very easy to just like tap on that middle platform or something like that. It's just little things, but it feels really satisfying and it's fun to watch too. But so we're going to take the same teleportal. We're going to head back to Cataris because now that we have Varia, we can actually go explore some of the hot zones. Secret little passage here, so you don't actually have to climb back down through the tunnels. And now we're actually able to just go straight down here into this hot zone. And so this little hot zone right here actually precedes everyone's favorite Metroid boss that we didn't see in Fusion, Kraid. And if Kraid is not your favorite Metroid boss, well, I don't know what happened, but mistakes were made. That's all. If you're a Super Metroid player and you're familiar with the quick kill there, you'll also be familiar with the concept of Kraid DLC. Unfortunately, in this game, Kraid DLC is mandatory. Kraid is super chained up in this first phase. And he can do one of two things. He can toss his nails at us, which is really what we'd prefer, or he can gargle at us, which is this. The gargling is the worst, and it also seems to be the thing that he prefers to do. That was a really clean phase 1. In phase 2, in order to get up to his face, there are 3 different things that can get you up there. 1, you can shoot his belly until he gets mad and shoots spikes at you. And ride the elevator up. You can get lucky and he can shoot spikes at you just as like his regular RNG, which allows you to climb up to the elevator. Or you can do this really awful wall jump morph ball thing to get an effective single wall jump going. But once you're up here, you're basically trying as hard as possible not to get hit by anything, because if you get hit by anything, it's right back down to the floor with you. Very clean fight. Very, very clean fight. So the counter that Jay took was when you counter attacks like that, you get a whole bunch of resources, so you get more missiles and everything. But rather than starting the counter sequence by firing a missile or a shot or something, we cancel it because bosses take less damage during those like cutscene counter sequences. So we try to avoid that as much as possible. Our reward for defeating Kraid is the diffusion beam, which pops these little explosions whenever your shots hit walls or enemies, and they go through walls a little bit, so we're able to hit those blobs through the walls to reshape the terrain and take the purple teleportal back over to elsewhere. I mean Dairon. So we're going back to Dairon, and this time we're actually going to be going through some hot zones in Dairon as we navigate to... so the game actually expects us to do something kind of different, and I think the sequence break here is actually intended, but we're going to go get Grapple Beam early. Grapple Beam early enables a bunch of stuff that's really nice, and it's really, really pretty easy. So we're going to slide through here and Coyote Jump, wall jump up into this tunnel, and then there's going to be another slide Coyote here to get over that, and that enables us to get to the elevator. This is going to take us back to a segment of Artaria that we otherwise couldn't get to, which is going to enable us to get the Grapple Beam. That skip is not that hard, but it is pretty risky because if you mess up that second jump and fall into the lava, and there are opportunities to recover, like it's not like a lost cause if you miss the jump once or something like that, but if you fall into the lava there is no chance to recover from it. You're just dead. So very, very nice, smooth early grapple there. Back here in Artaria, very, very nice, smooth morph falling down to the bottom. Good shot on the missile cover, and we get Grapple Beam. Like with Wide Beam, Grapple Beam has associated blocks. There are big grapple blocks and small grapple blocks. The big ones move, and just kind of like the Wide Beam. There's also grapple doors, and of course, grapple points. You can also grapple onto spider magnet walls, but the little grapple blocks actually disappear when you open them. So they just like go away entirely and open up new paths for you. They always occupy 1 tile high by 2 tiles wide. And being able to pop those open makes some of the navigating through Dairon that we're going to do on our way to killing Yellow Emmy a lot easier, which we're going to see relatively shortly. But before that, we're going to get our first skipped atom. As we're on... Well, first we have to actually make our way back across the pond. Coming back from this is also a fun time. Very, very smooth jump back into the tunnel. Lovely respin to catch that platform without having to fall into the lava. Good shot through the tunnel. And this... Hi, Adam. Bye, Adam. You just don't have to talk to him anymore. It's so great.
That's actually so lovely. I love that.
Yeah. Woo. Very nice movement through this area. Not even a chance of encountering Yellow Emmy. That was a good morph jump. So out of that tunnel, Jay just like morphed and Coyote jumped out of it to hit that ledge. That actually saves a couple of seconds in that room because otherwise you have to do some kind of back and forth platforming. So we're in another area where the power is off. Once again, we are going to have to turn on the power to enable a missile cover that's going to give us access to yet another power-up. Any guesses? I'll give chat like a couple seconds if you're not familiar with the game to guess what it is that we're going to get next. If you already know, then obviously you know that it's bombs. So this is incredibly late in a Metroid game for Morph Ball and bombs, but now the gang is back together. The old crew is back. And we got locked into this room. You might not have noticed it, but the door shuttered closed as soon as we came in. So we have to actually bomb our way out of here. Bombs also enable us to use these little like shooter tunnels, which is how we're going to do some of the navigation from here. We're going to take a couple of these tunnels on our way to the next area. So we actually do have to run out of here and pick up another ability and then come back like we did with Wide Beam. So we're going to make our way down to B is for Berenia, which is the Meridia of this game. If you're not a Super Metroid player at all, Meridia is the water area in Super Metroid, and Berenia is the water area in this. So we get a little bit of a prelude to that with this area right here. That was some really, really clean. That is such clean movement. That particular room right before the tram, there's lots of like little things that it's really easy to trip up on. And that was very satisfying to watch. Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh, we're headed to Berenia to pick up possibly the best power in the entire game, aside from Screw Attack. Screw Attack is amazing in every game, and if you disagree, then fight me.
So it's a hard contender for the best one in the series.
It really is. And so in Berenia, we are going to be picking up Flash Shift. And what Flash Shift does is it instantly transports Samus a fixed distance either to the right or to the left when you use it, up to 3 times on a full charge of Aeon. Your Aeon gauge has to be completely full in order to be able to use it, just the same as activating Phantom Cloak. You can't activate it when your Aeon gauge isn't full. You use up when you use Flash Shift, you use up your entire Aeon gauge regardless of how many times you shift. But you can do it up to 3 times. There's important differences in the way that Flash Shift moves in midair versus on the ground that you'll just see in the movement. But before that, one of the big important things about Flash Shift is that it lets us pass Flash Shift doors, which are these sensors. But we're going to use this fancy bomb sequence to basically backdoor ourselves into the room. So you'll see if we keep ourselves up there enough, the door will open for us and Flash Shift will become available. So we went in the wrong way, which is why we're standing on the ground. We were supposed to come in through the lower door. And now we have to wait for that to open again. No big deal. But just look at how zippy. Just go zoom. We go very fast. You can't use Flash Shift underwater, though. At least not until you have Gravity Suit. So in this room, we're not going to be going so zoomy. There are a couple of blobbies here that we have to shoot in order to change the water level. In order to get at them, we're not going to be going all the way down to where the game expects us to go. We're going to be using these pause pseudo waves. So what's happening there is Jay is charging and then pressing against a wall, crouching, turning around, pausing, and then using the pause to buffer a directional change. So you're holding aim and a direction and releasing the shot button all while you're paused, and then unpausing, and that's going to cause a pseudo wave. So after a few hits to the blobbies, if your directions are precise, then it changes the water level, and we're actually able to leave the room. And
mine were not precise.
You did really good on the first one. The second one, so the directions on those are a little dicey. If you're me, you take a lot longer to set them up, and so like you're exchanging precision for time, basically. But if you've practiced it enough, then you can kind of just flick it. Which is always very impressive. I don't think that you took that long for like how fast you were doing the pause buffers. Personally, I was very impressed. So take that for what it's worth. So with Flash Shift in tow, we can return to Dairon. We're actually taking a separate tram, a lower tram, which gets us access to a different area of the Emmy zone that we weren't able to access before, and that we would not be able to get into without that tram. So coming through here gives us access to this room, which eventually, as we navigate through some of this using our Flash Shift, will get us to Central Unit. I want to talk a little bit while the whole central unit fight is going on about flash shift. In the air, flash shift moves a fixed distance every shift that you do, no matter how much you tap the directional button. While on the ground, you can cancel one slide into the next. So just like little important differences in how the game processes that movement. All right, yellow Emmy quick kill. So we're just gonna jump up onto this ledge and aim and start shooting. And basically we want to actually kill yellow Emmy at a fairly specific spot so that it falls all the way to the ground. And because Samus, what's going to happen basically is that the game is going to vertically drop the Emmy onto whatever platform is expedient, and then Samus is just going to be on that platform for the cutscene. And so since the lower platform is where we want to be, and bingo, now we have Speed Booster, which is what made yellow Emmy so fast. And now we get to do fun speed things. Obviously there's Shine Sparks, like every Metroid game that has had Speed Booster in it. But also, we do lots of fun speed keep things in this. This is speed keeping is just like using the fast running to go fast instead of using using Speed Booster to get Shine Sparks. And speed keep in this game is actually especially effective because the game lets us do things like wall jump while keeping our speed, morph while keeping our speed. Slide. You can slide through narrow passages, and still keep your speed booster going. So the game is actually both very forgiving and very permissive about what you can do while you are speed boosting and keep your boost going. It's a lot of fun. It is the best speed booster implementation I have seen in any Metroid game. Hands down.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yes.
All right, so we have an anonymous $10 donation here with no comment. Thank you, anonymous. But he did put, they did put that towards the Wario Hop Showcase for Wario Land 4. If we reach $600 for that incentive, Mr. Shasta will play the Wario Hop minigame in Wario Land 4 after the run. So please get your donations in for that incentive. You'll not want to miss it.
Nice. So Jay was trying to do a Shine Spark trick that would have allowed not having to stop to shoot the little wiggly things in the grapple room. Unfortunately, it's pretty easy to lose that one. But so this Chozo bot right here. So what we're trying to do is get 2 Shine Sparks off on this thing. And an interesting thing about Shine Sparks in this game is they always do 50% max health as their damage to any boss that they hit. Unless the boss is immune to Shine Sparks entirely, which there are a couple of them, like the final boss can't be Shine Sparked. So hitting that with 2 Shine Sparks guarantees kill. In some cases, there are good opportunities to basically enter a room with a Shine Spark and start off the fight with a Shine Spark, and that's a great way to just immediately shave 50% off the health of whatever it is that you're fighting. So that was a pretty good Chozobot fight. Not perfect, but still like 2 Shine Sparks out of 3 attempts is pretty nice. The whole Ferenia subplot thing, the whole reason that we went there is because Quiet Robe, who is a Chozo, needs to open a passageway in Berenia. Oh, hi, Adam. Bye, Adam. I love not talking to Adam. Adam's just like, you never call, you never write. I'll speak to you when you speak to me. We're like, all right, cool. Guess we're not speaking. Very nice running. Good speed keep there for the most part. So much fun to watch too. But so we're basically moving back to Berenia to go through the passage that Quiet Robe opened for us. Quiet Robe also actually disabled all of the Emmys, so they're all asleep right now, and we can't fight them, and they can't fight us. So we're gonna travel through the blue Emmy zone in Berenia, and the blue Emmy, or no, we traveled through through an Emmy zone. I'm getting confused.
This is the
Blue Emmy?
speed booster Emmy. We
This
traveled
is
through
the speed booster Emmy.
Emmys.
Yes. We're going to be traveling through the blue Emmy zone in Gavaran, which is what this passageway eventually leads us to, and that Emmy is just going to be asleep. That's what I was trying to get to. Sorry about that. I have a bad case of Friday brain right now. So on our way there, we're actually going to do a fun boss skip. Nice speed keep there. Ooh, I gotta learn that one. Coming up in a couple of rooms is going to be Dragiga, or is going to be a room that precedes Dragiga, which is a big underwater boss, and that would be pretty slow to fight without Gravity Suit. But there's this shortcut blob that's supposed to let us back, and we're basically going to pseudo wave it. What Jay just did there is called a double turnaround pseudo wave. Very, very nice movement through the enemies there. The way that a double turnaround pseudo wave works is you slide into a wall, and then once you're kind of embedded in the wall, you turn away from the wall, and then you turn back toward the wall. And while you're doing the turnaround toward the wall again, you will get a pseudo wave. And so by using that with diffusion beam, it is possible to pop that blob from the right side. You can also use pause buffers, but it's faster to do the double turnarounds if you get them clean, which Jay got a good clean shots in there. Double turnaround pseudo is also used in the final area of the game to actually do a pseudo grapple beam, which is kind of fun to watch. Spoilers, sorry, but here we're going to see another boss Shine Spark setup. So we're going to charge a Shine Spark coming into this room and immediately spark this boss. So this is a gold Chozo bot, so it has more health and maybe does more damage than the gray one. I forget if it does more damage, but it has more health, and Shine Sparking it just makes that fight so much faster. Good clean fight there. And so this is where Blue Emmy is asleep. You can actually see it in the background to the right for a brief moment as we go through. If you're eagle-eyed. Hi Adam. Bye Adam. And as we're kind of proceeding through here, so we're on our way to get super missiles. So those green door covers that you see, the green like matrixy ones, those are super missile covers. So we need super missiles to open them. Like in Fusion, super missiles replace our regular missiles. So we no longer have regular missiles. We have no choice to use regular missiles instead of super missiles. Super missiles do fire a little bit slower, but overall do more DPS than regular missiles, I believe. A thing that does not hold true when we eventually get ice missiles. I think ice missiles are slow enough that they do less DPS than super missiles. With super missiles in tow, we're able to open a cover and come through here into a tram that leads us to the magical land of Elune. We are now transported to the world of Warcraft. May the light of Elune guide you. Wait, that's not right. That's not.
That seems like not the correct game.
Yes, I mean, Samus meets Night Elves is definitely a game I would play. Not sure it would work out that well for the Night Elves, though. Elune is notable for a couple of reasons. One, it houses Plasma Beam, but possibly more important is that it also houses the X Parasites. We just skipped a cutscene where we would have seen them all floating around. You'll see plenty of X Parasites very, very soon. Don't worry about it. These transparent green door covers are Plasma Beam covers. We cannot open them until we acquire Plasma Beam. Hey, look, X Parasites. going through some of these tunnels, there's some opportunities. You can actually jump and like morph over some of those. They take up too much space to flash shift over them. If you flash shift into an enemy, you will stop just short of the enemy. You won't like run into them and take damage, but you can't flash shift past them unless there's like enough clearance. So yay, plasma beam. All right, cool. Was it worth it? Was releasing the X parasites onto the universe again really worth plasma beam? I say yes, but you know your mileage may vary. Yeah, it's a good trade. Through this boss door, we're actually going to meet our first X-possessed Chozo warrior. So Quiet Robe told us about not only the Thoha, which are the tribe of scientist Chozo, but also the warrior Mawkin tribe. And Ravenbeak's, Mawkins were pretty much all like possessed by the X parasites. So that's what this thing is. When you get them down to like 50% health, they turn into like weird little wormy things and less, bird warriors, and it's creepy, and it's very impressive the way that they did that with like very limited additional visual effects. Honestly, there are kind of a lot of these things in the game. I think there are maybe like 6 of them total. It's hard to remember. 5 or 6 of them, but we only see 3. Because we skip a bunch of stuff. With Plasma Beam in tow, we are now able to go. So, honestly, we're not supposed to be able to do this, but we're ready. We're basically ready to kill Blue Emmy. Oh, right. The cutscene that we just skipped was Quiet Robe's corpse getting possessed by an X parasite, and now the Emmys are all turned back on. By the way, so fun times there. Ooh, geez, nasty spawn there.
Unfortunate spawn. Yep.
Yeah. So Ice Emmy's vision beam can turn you into ice, and that's very unfortunate. That was a good recovery, though. So we're now going to do something called a water bomb jump. You're not supposed to be able to gain height with bomb jumps in the water, but if you set a bomb on the ground and then let it pop you into the air and then unmorph while you're still in the air, and then don't hit the ground again while morphed, you can basically set another bomb in the air to get height that you're not supposed to be able to get. Also, as you just saw in the central unit, a Shine Spark instantly destroys the outer shell of central unit. We're going to be running back here and charging a Shine Spark for the Blue Emmy quick kill, basically getting ourselves up on top to force the Emmy through that top door, so that it's going to crawl across the ceiling to us while we are basically free to shoot at its faceplate as much as we want. One thing that's a little bit difficult about this quick kill is if you're not super precise on it, the Emmy can crawl out of your camera view, and it can make it hard to see where the Emmy is to aim that final shot. But that was a really good, clean aiming there. That was a very, very nice kill. Also, that diagonal spark was really lovely.
I got
it from Clipper.
Yeah, I do a straight up one and then flash shift over, just because aiming the diagonals is like hard for me. It works fine, but yours is better and looks nicer. So now we have ice missiles. And with ice missiles in tow, we are able to kill these little fire plants that are in our way. And head up over through this area right here, which is going to take us to another trim that's actually going to take us back to Ferenia, which is the place where we fought our first Chozobot, and Quiet Robe turned off the Emmys in the first place. That was that like little interlude that we did earlier. So now what we're going to do here is get Space Jump, which is not something that we're really supposed to do yet. that is so this one's interesting. So there's a couple different ways to get space jump from here, but the fastest way is a pseudo wave. So this one's a morph pseudo. So
Thank goodness.
nice, so nice. So what Jay was doing was a dashing melee counter into free aim, which was caused Samus to be in this weird crouch state. And with very, very precise aim, then you can do a morph pseudo wave that will penetrate through the floor. But that's not enough to hit that blob. You also have to shoot your shot on a very specific frame of the little fire enemy's animation. And so getting it that quickly is just really amazing. That was incredibly clean. I'm blown away. Just like the floor was. Haha.
It's so, that trick is so fickle.
It really, really is.
I've had times where I've gotten it first try, and I've had times where I had to reset the enemy like twice.
Yeah, and it's not just a factor of the timing, it's also a factor of the aim. There's a small range of angles that will give you the pseudo wave, but if you're not aimed at the right angle, even shooting on the right frame won't hit the blobby, and so it won't blow up. It is a really difficult trick, and Jay just made it look super, super easy. So with space jump in tow, we are going to head to our nearest yellow teleportal, which is going to take us back to Artaria. And we are going to do something that we're not supposed to be able to do, which is a lot of what we do in this run, honestly, and get screw attack now. So early screw attack involves, and I want to talk about this ahead of time because when we get to the moment, it's going to be hard to explain everything all at once. Depends on a weird little quirk of the physics where the game will bump you up a little bit if you move out from under a ledge during your jump. Basically get a little bit of a corner bump. And you don't actually even have to, like, strictly speaking, touch the corner in order to get the bump. You just have to kind of be in its general area. And because of that, we're able to gain a little bit of height that actually gets us out of some water. We're not supposed to be able to gain height even with space jump in water unless we have gravity suit. But because we can gain that little bit off of these corners, we're actually able to get out of water that we're not supposed to be able to get out of, which enables us to access screw attack. If we hadn't already shut Adam up, that sequence break, not getting gravity suit and skipping the Adam conversations leading up to screw attack would have gotten us Adam being quiet for the rest of the run. So at this point, we've saved all of our Adam save time. But we get so much out of early screw attack. It's just such a great little gift. And people were like really hard at work on this for quite a fair amount of time during some of the earlier points in the running scene. That, like, when this trick was found, like, a lot of people, it seemed like, had given up hope of it being real. So that is it. That's the corner hop into early screw attack. So one more water bomb jump here, and boop, screw attack is acquired. Screw attack is so good to have. Oh no. So Jay was trying to keep a shine spark there to get out of this water here. It is possible to do this with a water bomb jump, and very nice job doing the water bomb jump recovery. But it's a lot easier and a little bit faster to do it with a Shine Spark there. You can charge one on the flipper before it flips on you, but it's also like relatively easy to miss. There's a cute little pseudo wave here to pop this open. This is another morph pseudo, but it doesn't require the dashing melee. Very nice. And then it's very easy to get caught on the zigzag slopes coming back up here. On the way back out to this teleportal, we're now going to use our diffusion beam to pop that open and take red teleportal again, which is going to send us back to Cataris. We're going to take a sequence of teleportals at this point. Basically, we're going to go into the red teleportal. That's going to take us to Cataris. And a short jaunt later, we're going to go into an orange teleportal, which is going to take us to Gavarin again. And from Gavarin, we're going to use our newfound screw attack and space jump to get to the green teleportal, which will take us to Berenia, at which point we will be positioned to go and acquire Gravity Suit, finally. And with all of the stuff that we have, we will... at the point after you get Gravity Suit is normally when you talk to Adam and then go take an elevator down into Frozen Artaria, and then you go back into Cataris and fight Experiment to turn the generators back on, and like we're just not gonna do any of that at all. It's all skipped. So from here, this is gonna take us into this like little mazy area in Gavarin that is adjacent to where you get pulse scan in a casual playthrough. So there's this like little charge door here, and this is right next to where pulse scan is. It's the room that you come out of after you get pulse scan. We've got just like a little bit of kind of like fairly normal movement plus a teleportal. So if we have any more donations or anything, now is like not a bad time to read them.
So we do not have any donations at this time. However, I will plug in some upcoming incentives. So we have the clothing choice for Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. You will pick the clothing worn in Linkmeister's Hello Kitty Roller Rescue run. That currently has $30 towards the denim costume and nothing else towards anything else. If you want to get, say, Hello Kitty in a swimsuit, for example, get your donations in for that.
Yeah. Hello Kitty costumes are adorable. Highly encourage that you pick a costume. And then watch that run.
Sanrio.
So, yeah, Sanrio. So here we are in Berenia. There's more of these little like fires. We're going to use Shine Sparks to navigate through this little Shine Spark puzzle here. Nice little flash shift there. And that gets us through into the area where we will get Gravity Suit. So what we're going to do here is there's several blobs that we have to blow up, and we're going to use quick charges on them, or actually maybe not, right? You've got for that one. And then you have to pull this grapple block to drop that. And that is a really quick source of health, those little swimmers. Because after we pick up Gravity Suit, we have to go up to the top of this area and fight a couple of Chozobots. And that will let us get back to the teleportal and head back to Gavarin. Gravity Suit, remembering, of course, to skip the cutscene. And now we can just Shine Spark our way up here, pick up a few more missiles, and make our way up to the top. Very nice little swag morphs into the tunnels. And so there's no place to charge a Shine Spark here. And with the rate of fire that Jay has, plasma beam fire is better than just like using straight missiles against them. But also Jay is doing missile weaving. So just like periodically tapping the missile button to fire a missile in between beam shots is what's going on there, and so that adds a little extra damage in there because the DPS on the missiles themselves is lower, but if you just shoot them every time the cooldown is off and fill the rest of the time with beams, then you get a lot of damage in.
Which is missile weaving. You wouldn't think it, but it's like it's actually not exclusive to Turbo. B-Dog's doing missile weaving now.
Yeah. So you know, there's it's really impressive what people are doing with this game, with and without Turbo. So we're now set up to fight Golzuna, that's what it's called. So this X-Parasite is actually going to have 3 forms, and we are going to try to use Shine Sparks to kill 2 of the 3. Very nice charge on that. Excellent. So we're going to lure the X-Parasite up there to get enough room for a Shine Spark and one-shot the Core X with the Shine Spark to get cross bombs. Beautiful fight. That was excellent.
Thank you.
I need to ask you for advice because I'm terrible with that kill. Cross bombs are cursed. We're gonna be using them to pop ourselves over these little crumble block bridges, but that's actually it's a lot more finicky than it looks. So I don't know, cross bombs are I regard cross bombs as being like the other major cursed thing in this game aside from wide beam blocks.
They're extremely cursed.
It's so weird.
Yeah. My experience with them personally was, oh, you just let them push you, fall down. Okay, I'm gonna hold left, fall down. Why is this not working? Oh, I just it worked that time, I guess.
Yeah, it's they're finicky. So with this, we're able to enter into Hanubia, which is the H of our area. We now have A through H areas all over the place. Hanubia, we are basically able to zip along for only a very little bit. We're basically using this as a route to get into Ferenia. Here we're going to do a double turnaround pseudo to pseudo grapple this block and avoid going all the way around, because going all the way around the top is actually fairly slow because there's a lot of those like little vacuum enemies. And we're going to take this elevator back down into Ferenia. See, the thing about Ferenia is there's an Emmy there, and we haven't killed that Emmy yet. So if we go from Hanubia to our I location, which is obviously where we would find the final boss, in the eye of the storm. We would miss the Emmy in Ferenia, so we actually have to come back here. There's actually 2 things that we need in Ferenia. So before we are able to go and front Purple Emmy, or as I like to call it, Quemmy, we require 1 more weapon power, and that is Storm Missiles. Storm Missiles allow you to lock a bunch of missiles onto enemies or objects, and then fire them. Oh, wow. Wow, that was awesome.
The Emmys have really been trying their best tonight.
Yeah, that was a really bully spawn for that speed keep, and that was just like really, really excellent movement. So Purple Emmy has Wave Beam, and so its special power is that it can see through walls and shoot little paralyzing electric blasts at you. So we're really trying to keep out of its way. as much as possible as we navigate through these corridors. There are kind of a lot of them. But getting through to this area actually lets us into where we can find storm missiles. So we're going to go down through this area. There's another boss door down here, and with it, another boss, SQ. There is enough room out here to charge a Shine Spark, and it will hold long enough for its intro animation to begin, so that's 50% of its HP right there. And then SQ is weak to Screw Attack. Unfortunately, this is a room, this room has a special quality that makes your Shine Spark charge, or your Speed Booster charge slower. There is not enough room in this room to build up a Shine Spark to either Shine Spark SQ a second time or get a Shine Spark off on the Core X. So we do have to use Screw Attack for the second halves of the second and third parts of that. Not too bad. Screw Attack is still very effective, but you know, if we could shine, it would be faster. So storm missiles are going to let us lock onto these little green nubbins and hit all of them at the same time. The game actually does check to make sure that you're using storm missiles for those. Even if you were to hit all of those with regular missiles all at the same time, it would not count. There's that little electric blast that if it had hit, it would have paralyzed Samus. But so you can't open storm missile gates with anything other than storm missiles. We're going to store a little Shine Spark here and go ahead and Shine Spark that. Obviously the gold Chozo, the one that has more HP, is the one that you want to Shine Spark because 50% of more health is more damage. So with that done and all of that out of the way, that was a very quick Chozobot fight, by the way. Big kudos. We are able to proceed back into here, into this lower part. We could have come this far before, but we would have been stopped by the Storm Missile Gate right here, which is why we had to go and get Storm Missiles first. And this will let us into the portion of the ME zone that actually gives us access to Central Unit. So now that we're here, we are in fact able to clutch get up through here. A couple of little blob explosions later, and we can crawl up through this. There's a little elevator here right before Central Unit that gives us plenty of room to charge a Shine Spark. And then, fun fact about Central Unit is once its shell is off, Screw Attack kills it instantly. So, now we have to kill the purple Emmy. Killing the purple Emmy, there are 3 or 4 different setups for it. There's one that you can do in the the room that Purple Emmy is fought in is divided into a bunch of chambers. And there's one where you can kill it in the very first chamber that it's in. A less dicey, but still somewhat dicey kill kills it in the second chamber. There is a backup kill for killing it basically in this this third chamber right here. Which is what we're going to end up doing. This is not as bad as it looks. It looks like fairly tight and dicey, but there's actually plenty of room on this platform to execute this kill. So that was nice and clean. Jay ran back to the first set of bomb blocks trying to set up for the second chamber kill, it looked like. But the wide beam block was cursed, and that's basically what made that not work. But now we have wave beam, which is, as we all know, a very purple colored beam, and can pass through walls. So we don't, it's still purple. We don't have to do pseudo waves anymore. Our suit is purple, our beam is purple. We are ready to go to the final area of the game, right? Right? We have a couple more things we need to do. So we're gonna go back to Hanubia. there are 7 Emmys. And counting the broken Emmy, which is our like tutorial Emmy that we skipped by doing the very first pseudo wave of the run, we have eliminated a grand total of 6. So we're broken Emmy, white Emmy, green Emmy, yellow Emmy, blue Emmy, and purple Emmy. And there is 1 left, and that last Emmy happens to reside in Panubia. So we are going to go ahead and go take care of that. We gotta. There's this little red guy jumping up from the back. What's he doing? Well, so it turns out that the last Emmy has power bombs, but this red guy did not want the Emmy to do the job for him. He was very insistent that he gets to be the one that kills Samus. So he went and killed the orange Emmy for us. And now we have to fight this thing instead. This red guy, in addition to having the shield, which is broken by a melee counter at the right time, does a lot of damage and spits a lot of black goo. That was a very clean fight and a very clean kill, but if you take, I think, 2 or 3 hits from that, it's game over. It's not a very forgiving fight if you take damage at all.
Yeah,
But so
usually
now
I
we're
just
free to-
tank those hits, but not with my health the way it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we got power bombs. So explosive. So that was basically the last thing that we were needing. We didn't have any walls in front of us that we needed power bombs for that up until now, but we get power bombs just before we need them to progress. There's no like backtracking associated with them unless you're going hunting for items, which is, totally is fine. The shooting underneath the floor with a wave beam is designed to get power bombs back. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I keep reacting every time I do something.
Oh, no, that's totally fine.
Every time I mess up. It's like...
So we want to do a shine spark up the shaft here, specifically a ball spark. So we charge the shine spark, set the power bomb, and then spark up the shaft. And oh gosh, there's another warrior in the background. So here's our gold Mockin warrior, ex-possessed Mockin warrior. His shield is a little bit more hardy than his red brethren, but we don't actually even get to see it break. Just the sheer power of missile weaving and these beams gets us there before we even see the counter. So all of these Mockin warriors have this like 2 counter thing at the end of them, which I forgot to mention at the first one. And if you miss that, then it goes back into the fight. And you have to damage them again until they get into the counter sequence. That's the only way to actually like kill them. But with Gold Boy down, we are free to take the jet sphere into Itorash, the final area of the game. And there is really nothing in Itorash aside from the final boss. So we're getting toward the end of the run.
His little surveillance system that he has around, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it. There's no enemies or anything. There's just the final boss fight.
Do we have time for one quick donation before the end?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we have a $20 donation here from Charbunny, who says, "Just wanted to say hi to Sabera, sorry. Great commentary as always."
Aw, thank you, and thank you so much for the donation. So here we are taking the elevator into the final fight. So when we get to the top of this elevator, we are going to find the most hideous beast in all of Metroid. Adam. Wait, no, I mean Ravenbeak. So here's our final boss. It is Ravenbeak. Ravenbeak is... So what Jay did was fire 10 missiles at Ravenbeak to force a counter sequence. And then basically, if you are able to fire fast enough during that counter sequence, you can phase Ravenbeak in one counter sequence. And that gets rid of the like armor glow and puts Ravenbeak into flying phase 2. In this phase, he has a pretty wide variety of attacks. That was so fast, jeez. And once you do enough damage, he loses his wings, and now we're in phase 3. At the end of phase 3, he's going to have a counter sequence, and then we're going to be done. We're pretty much almost done with this fight at this point. This is not going to take that long. The power bomb will kill this like orange sun thing and get you a whole bunch of resources. But that's it. That's the fight. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the mechanics because we basically ignored most of them. And now, before we actually do the mandatory Metroid escape sequence, we do have one last thing. So the X finally do possess Ravenbeak, and they merge him with Kraid. So this is really terrifying looking. But because of the way that this works, we can do it a little faster than the game expects. We're going to charge up our beam, and we're going to start shooting now, like right when he grabs that rock, and he's still going to die even though we didn't shoot him the whole entire time, because the game only really checks whether you're shooting at a particular point in the animation sequence. It doesn't care how much. There's like no actual damage counter. And so now we get to escape. Samus is wearing a Metroid suit now, and not any of her other suits. Among other things, this means that she no longer has Aeon, which means that we can't flash shift anymore. So you won't see flash shift at all in this. There are a couple of speed keeps in this segment, but that's what we're going to be relying on for faster movement. Is basically just speed keeps and otherwise just like a good, efficient platforming. There's lots of little optimizations here, but not really time to talk about all of them. But we can talk about how friggin' cool this version of the Hyper Beam is. It just like everywhere, just whooshing everything. Here we are going to do a spark in mid-air. The reason for that is if you do it on the ground, you get a kind of long lead-up animation. So there's a fairly middle complicated. Yeah, time is. Oh, nice. I'm behind you by rather more seconds than I thought. Nice speed keep though on the final escape sequence, and really, really good run.
Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic run. It is so wonderful to see how far this game has come in the short time since its release. That was wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of people on the server have been doing very, very good work. B-Dog, Hard Candy, Rain BT, just too many people to name, just breaking this game in half. And it's really nice to see.
Yeah, the community has given this just a ton of love. And the turbo decision was controversial, but I'm really glad that a lot of the runners, even ones who, weren't really happy with the decision, have still stuck around and helped really shape this game and the run. Thank you also for inviting me to do commentary on this, Jay. This was super fun.
Thank you for commentating. It was. Thank you so much. I would not have been able to talk through that.
Well, I'm always happy to run my mouth. Well, everyone, see you next mission, I guess.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching, and thanks to Midwest Speedfest for hosting me and accepting my run, and thanks to the Save the Music Foundation for all the work they do.